So the Champions League draw for the quarterfinal has been made. Barcelona are going to be playing Roma, Sevilla are going to be playing Bayern Munich, Juventus are going to be playing Real Madrid, and the two English sides left in the competition, they're playing each other. Liverpool versus Man City. Anyone who was on Redmen when they were doing their live stream as the draw happened will have seen Paul Machin and Chris, hands in their face, devastated by the draw. It was the one draw you didn't want. And Paul joins me now. Paul, have you recovered?
Yeah, just about. I've had a bit of time to set myself and to dig into it and talk it through. At the time, yes. Devastated, maybe not devastated, but definitely massively disappointed.
Yeah.
It was, look, James, it was on the spectrum of possibilities, that was the worst possible outcome. And in terms of the ordering of the fixture, with it being at the Etihad for the second leg, that is as bad as that draw could have gone, I think, in every Liverpool fan's mind.
Yeah, what draw were you hoping for?
Sevilla,
right.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think everyone wanted Sevilla because on paper, I think they're the weakest team. But in addition to that, I think we've got to measure them. Look, twice this season already, we've thrown away leading positions against them. So, you might think they're a bit of a bogey team. They beat us in the Europa League final 2 years ago as well. But I think all of that stuff kind of led towards it being a really good tie for Liverpool, because a little bit of need for revenge, but also we scored 5 goals against them in the 2 games that we played against them, so we know how to do that side of things. So I felt that would have favoured us massively, but no.
The way it came out of the hat, the kicker there for you as well is the fact that Man City get to play that home game as their second leg. That's the real tough one for you to take, because I think optimistic Liverpool fans will understandably and fairly go, okay, this isn't what we'd ideally want. You want Sevilla, you want Roma, maybe you even want Juventus after you see how well Spurs played against them and you play in a similar style.
I agree with that.
But what you really desperately wanted was Anfield at home, because if there's a ground that has that kind of stardust for a European night that can be the difference between two teams, you saw it against Dortmund a couple of years ago, you've seen it throughout the years, you wanted that in your back pocket for the second leg. So to go to their place, that's another sort of disappointing one for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because European ties can go south quickly, and there is definitely something about having that home advantage. You can lose a game in Europe at this stage against, because you're playing good teams. There is just that safety net of going, even if you're a couple of goals down from the first leg, not ideal, but almost the worst case scenario, really. That you've got that home crowd behind you. You can roar your team across the line. But don't forget that Dortmund game. We came into that game winning. We had the advantage going into that game, and then we totally threw it away in a very short space of time at Anfield, and then pulled it back. So I think the good thing this time around is I think the way that Liverpool play football. Whilst look, if you gave us the choice, no team in the competition would have the fixtures fall this way. But my hope, and it is just that, but it is born out of what I've seen from Liverpool this season, is that the brand of football that we play, the way we played against Porto away from home, we hit them on the counter, but we came into that game and dominated it. They tried to dominate it, and we ended up wrestling control of that match from them and then putting them to the sword. So, look, City are a much different prospect, a much more difficult prospect than that, but Liverpool do have it within them to win a football match when the chips are down away from home. Our away record in the league speaks for itself this year.
Yeah, and unlike all teams that have played Man City this season, the teams that have beaten them, they've beaten Man City when they've had a man sent off, or they've already made it through the group, so they're not really playing the best strength team. You're really the only side that's gone head-to-head with them properly, full strength, and beaten them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for Man City fans, I think they would have gone, of all the people that they could have picked, I reckon a lot of them would have gone for Liverpool over any other team.
Yeah. I agree. I think we've done a couple of videos on it on Redmen now, and I'm seeing Man City fans' reactions starting to drip into it. And a few of them are bullish, and look, rightly so. They've had a phenomenal season. They're a really good side. They're probably the best side in Europe this season, just in terms of what they're doing to the teams that they're coming up against. But you're dead right. I wouldn't say Liverpool have got the measure of them, but if anyone's got the measure of them, the closest to it has to be Liverpool. And there are fans who they didn't want us, and that carries with it a fear factor. I think it's true from both ends, to be honest. I think we looked at every other team in the draw, and I could envisage a way in which we got past them. But there is added nerves to it being this. It's a bit too close to home, literally. We know each other so well. The potential banter or whatever that comes around it adds a little bit of extra edge, because who needs Man City fans trolling you for the weeks that follow it, and vice versa, of course. But no, I don't think either team would have chosen to have each other in this, and I think that Liverpool should probably take more confidence from that than anything, really.
Yeah, and so getting onto a prediction for this game, or how you see it working out, what have you learnt from that victory at home that would allow you to put a plan in place to beat Man City? And what have you learnt from the season that makes that you would create advice to give to Man City fans to say how you're going to get undone in this game? Give me both sides. So,
the encouraging thing for Liverpool is that we managed to score 4 goals against Man City. The problem remains that our legs fell off a little bit at the back end of that game, and Man City could have come back and drawn that on another day. We had to hold firm, and we didn't really hold firm enough, just enough, but not enough to make it the comfortable victory that we kind of hoped it'd be. The flip side, I think some people are going to try and look back at the last game at the Etihad where they beat us 5-0. Look, I've seen people saying the aggregate for the 2 games is 8-4 so far this season. It's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard. It is absolutely. That's not a thing in the league, but also I think that game was a little bit of an anomaly, particularly for Liverpool with the Mane thing. So I think Liverpool and Man City are both still, I think, fragile defensively, even though I think they're much improved than maybe what they were a year. They will depend massively on Vincent Kompany. We actually should be dependent massively on Van Dijk, and yet we managed to beat them at Anfield without him. So Liverpool should be a better force for having him involved in the side. If all the teams are fit and available, it's just going to be one of those ones where they just smash into each other over the course of 2 games, and whichever one's got the most pieces still intact at the end probably goes into the semi-finals. Yeah,
I think you're right. What is so exciting is that this truly could be a classic. And going back to your point about Mane getting sent off and how that kind of made that game void, that could happen in these 2 ties. That's what's so exciting, is the style's going to be great. They're both going to go for it. Unlike Liverpool versus Chelsea back in the day, those were different kind of wars of attrition, those games. There's a ghost goal in that. I don't think there's going to be any ghost goals in this. I think there's going to be a lot of goals. But anything could happen in these games.
Yeah, I think there's a real opportunity for this to be set up, this fixture, as being one of the top fixtures in world football for a number of years. You mentioned Liverpool-Chelsea. At the time, that was, Chelsea were the ones with all the money, but, they had probably the 2 best coaches, tactical coaches at the time, certainly in the country, going head-to-head with these chess-like battles that were great. They were classic European encounters. Well, look, football's moved on, and football in this country's moved on, and we've now got the 2 best, probably attacking and pressing and harassing and goal scoring coaches, possibly in world football, certainly in the Premier League, and this could be that. I could see quite easily this being the fixture for the next 2 or 3 seasons, that you see Liverpool, Man City, and the games matter, because that's what Liverpool haven't been in for a while. They haven't had a true competitor. Liverpool didn't have a rivalry with Chelsea. It was created, it was forged in the crucible almost of the battle for Champions League places and those Champions League games, and this could be another one of those.
So an incredibly exciting game, and one English team will be in the semi-finals of the Champions League. That's decent for English football. Which team will it be, mate?
It's going to be us, because it has to be us, because I can't face the devastation. Now, look. To be perfectly honest,
give me head and give me heart.
Look.
Is it different?
No, because I can analyse what Liverpool do well, and I can see where it goes. I think, look, if I was a pure neutral and I didn't watch either side, you'd look at it and say, look, Man City have to be the favourites. They're pretty much the favourites for the competition anyway. They're the runaway, basically, winners of the Premier League this season. Liverpool aren't. You know, Liverpool have struggled at times. We've not been great away from home, particularly against the big sides as well this year. So you'd have to go with Man City, I guess. But for me, I think it boils down to, I think Liverpool have got European pedigree, which always seems to count for something in this competition. And in addition to that, as I say, we've got a little bit of a factor. Klopp's got the best record of any manager in world football currently, against Guardiola. I think we've got a fairly good measure of each other. And it's just down to, who can come out on top. And Liverpool have there's every chance Liverpool can come on top of this. So my heart definitely says Liverpool. I could make a case either way with my head.
Yeah, I think it is really tight though. I think it is. But for me, I think it will be Man City just because of the consistency they've shown. But most importantly, the fact that they've got the second leg at home. I think that's an absolute killer for Liverpool. So that's my prediction. I think Man City are going to make it through. Paul, of course, and rightly so. And God, it'd be outraged, wouldn't it, if you'd gone any different. Is going for Liverpool. But who do you think is going to win the Battle of England in the quarterfinals of the Champions League? Let us know in the comments below. Head over to Redmen TV and subscribe if you're a Liverpool fan or generally a fan of good content. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe to Bull Street and we'll see you very soon.